Are we throwing our country away? I mean, are we going to give it away? These people on the left, I mean, these Islamic groups want to undermine our freedoms. They don't want a free society like we have here. They want Sharia law. Are we giving this country away?
Oh, the left, absolutely, Pat. Full speed ahead, handing it over, not only in Europe, here in America.
Oh, so now you're for secularism. You gotta stop them Muslims. Let us Christians get away with it. But when it comes to Muslims, we are all about secularism. Keep religion out of our government. Fucking hypocritical, double standard douchebags.
No intellectually honest individual can say that Islam is a religion of peace. And I say that for 3 reasons.
Keep in mind this intellectual honesty part, because this is a guy who I guarantee thinks he's intellectually honest, and he also thinks Christianity is a religion of peace and isn't guilty of any of the 3 things he's about to list off right now.
Number 1, Islam's core texts, the Quran, the Hadiths, are littered with violence and calls to violence, especially against Christians and Jews.
The Bible is also littered with violence.
Number 2, the example of Islam's prophet Muhammad, who even Muslims will tell you was a warrior and a conqueror, not a man of peace.
And your prophet was a man of peace, and yet you don't follow his example at all, do you?
Number 3, Pat, a cursory glance at Islam's history, both current, older. It's littered with conquest, with bloodshed, with expansionism.
Which Christianity has never been guilty of. No. I mean, do you know history at all? Or do you just have this huge double standard and you're just a giant fucking hypocrite when it, you just turn a blind eye when it comes to your religion, like most fucking people do.
So no intellectually honest individual, Pat, could look at those 3 points and tell you with a straight face that Islam is a religion of peace.
Nor could any intellectually honest person ignore those same restrictions or points against their own religion, except that you did. So I guess you're just not intellectually honest. I guess that's what it boils down to. If you can sit here and find all these faults in other religions without looking for the same faults in your own religion, that makes you intellectually dishonest. So fuck you for lecturing to anyone else about intellectual dishonesty.
We are kidding ourselves, and it's not going to get better if we're trying to appease Islamists. That only makes them want more and more, and it makes them stronger.
Well, Eric, I hope you're issuing a wake-up call, and so are we. But I listen to these talking heads on something like MSNBC. They just don't have a clue. And if somebody speaks out against it, well, you're bigoted, you're narrow-minded, you're this, that, and the other. And, oh, man, Abe Foxman jumped on me for telling the truth about this. I was trying to defend our Israeli friends in the so-called Anti-Defamation League, which is supposed to be an Israeli, a Jewish organization, jumps on me for saying unkind things about Muslims. I mean, these guys are blinded. I'm shocked at how blinded they are.
You're shocked? You're shocked at how blinded they are. Wow. Well, there's a great number of people out there that are shocked at how retarded you are. You and your followers, how blind they are, Mr. fucking Robertson. And most of these fucking other assholes are no better.
The worst misogyny in our culture, the hatred of women, the absolutely inexcusable, reprehensive, vulgar language that's being used about women is almost exclusively on the left.
What does it say about the college co-ed Susan Fluke, who goes before a congressional committee and essentially says that she must be paid to have sex? What does that make her? It makes her a slut, right? Makes her a prostitute. She wants to be paid to have sex.
And this is in part, ladies and gentlemen, because on the right, conservatives believe in respecting and honoring women. The left does not.
She's having so much sex she can't afford the contraception. She wants you and me and the taxpayers to pay her to have sex. What does that make us? We're the pimps.
The left does not. The left has the same view. Frankly, again, I'm struck by the parallels between liberalism and hardcore Islam. Liberals have the same view of conservative women that Muslims do of all women. A degrading view. They can use all kinds of vulgar terminology with them. They can show them absolutely no respect for their femininity, for their womanhood. But on the right, conservatives don't think of women that way. We see them made in the image of God. We believe they must be treated with dignity. They must be treated with respect. The leftists don't do that.
Slut.
They believe they can say any kind of vulgar thing about conservative women, and it's perfectly appropriate because they think of them, they think of conservative women just like Muslims think of all women.
Prostitute. Slut.
As something less than human. She realizes now how liberals and the Democrats who consider themselves liberals, how they think of women, how they treat women, how they speak of women. Ladies and gentlemen, it's absolutely disgraceful. It's absolutely horrible. You know, and to think that you would have a leftist like the President of the United States saying that the parents of a woman who goes on national TV and admits that she's sleeping with so many guys she can't keep track, doing it 3 times a day, running out of money, driving me to the poorhouse, and to think that parents, he's saying that parents ought to be proud of that. You know, I just wonder if he would be proud if his daughters were doing the same thing. Would he be proud of his daughters going on national TV to say the same thing?
Let me be clear, Brian Fisher. You are a complete, and I mean complete, fuckhead. You don't know your ass from a hole in the ground. You are insane and delusional, and it's scary how you think you're tuned in to the facts of the world. It is fucking scary. I don't know if there's anyone that actually listens to you, because people with that low of an IQ might not know how to work, you know, a computer or find your show on the internet, or even to turn the knob on a radio to find it on some shitty AM station. All right? Fuck nuts. You are seriously, scarily deluded, and you've got some serious blinders on. Talk about some blindness. The projection is palpable, all right? It's ridiculous how much these motherfuckers project their own fucked up shit onto those they oppose. Maybe it's them subconsciously realizing how retarded they sound. And so they have to, it's just like when they try and call atheism a religion. It's their way of, I mean, atheism has to be a religion. Religion is so shitty, and so is atheism, so atheism has to be a religion. I mean, that's the way they like to argue. Doesn't make a lot of sense to me, but I guess in your deluded mind, it makes lots of sense. Fuck that shit. Cocktopus out.